Yo, creeping in the dark, life nocturnal, dark and dark, both paths arboreal to terrestrial. Sticky toes gripping forest students that explore. Listen close, Gecko podcast, that's knowledge galore. Reptile talk, host Anthony and Jason. Trade secrets flow, no time wasted. From tropics to town, it's sight raining. With every chat, reptile game changing. Escaping heat waves, tan under rays, desert sand echoes, sun blazing days. Little hustlers, camouflage a maze, catch them speaking wisdom.
So I'm leaving them.
All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to a early morning show. We got our buddy old Paul over in the UK. Paul, how you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good.
Thanks for coming, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, it's very new for me, so I'll yeah.
No, you're all
Hopefully
good,
it goes well.
So, why don't you go ahead and kind of tell us your herp origin story? How'd you get into all this?
Well, so I suppose it's like same as some other people where I'd probably see Steve Irwin, or we have our own version as well, Mark O'Shea. And I used to always enjoy watching his stuff as well. And yeah, I used to see reptiles on TV, I suppose, and read books and things from a very early age until I was finally allowed one when I was maybe about 10 or 11 years old. And here I am now, many years later, with a ridiculous amount of reptiles, some people might think. Yeah,
Never a ridiculous amount.
Yeah. I was just saying, so you keep a lot of Strophaurus, keep a lot of Nephurus. That's pretty much where we started the a bit more of a serious gecko like breeding journey, like with the Aussie stuff. So, but now over the past maybe 6 years or so, we started keeping a few other things. We've got a Gurney depressor. We've got two types. We've got the coral bays and we've got the silverheads. They're both really stunning. And also we've got some Abronia aurita. They're really nice. And Mexican cloud forest alligator lizards, for those who don't know. And we also keep a couple of really nice groups of Ouroboros cataphractus, the armadillo lizards. They've been doing really well here, which is nice. We've been producing a couple of babies past few years, so yeah, nice. It's a nice achievement to get that far. Yeah, do something like that.
How do you find keeping reptiles over there in the UK? Do you think that your climate makes it any more complicated than it would be anywhere else in the world, or pretty much the same thing? You guys just have your...
It depends, I guess, who you are and what you know. So I'm a joiner by trade. I build things. I make things out of wood. So I'll see if I can show you guys. So I built this. Can you see the outbuilding?
Yeah. Oh, very nice.
So I built this, and I'm working on a walk-in terrarium here.
Very California style, very LAS.
Is it?
I like it. I'm a carpenter too. I'm a carpenter by trade.
Oh, awesome. But so you'll know the advantages. Like you're not shy of building anything, doing anything yourself. You know.
That scares me. No.
Yeah, and if you know about structures as well, you know about insulation. So obviously our climate can get very cold, but actually past few years it's been really hot. So, well, obviously as a reptile keeper for many years and a joiner for many years, I understand. So the issue is with reptile keeping, where obviously temperature is a big thing, like you say. So you need to prevent it from being too hot for some species, and you also need to prevent it from being too cold for others. So the whole outbuilding that I'm showing you there, it's made from something called structurally insulated panels, or SIPs for short, and they're like 100 mil thick walls. It's basically like a really thick piece of insulation, like polystyrene. This one's graphited polystyrene, and it's sandwiched between two sheets of OSB. It's been like a really popular building method in some of the Scandinavian countries, I think, for a while. But yeah, it just keeps the building so well insulated. So I have no issues at all. It stays up to temperature in the winter, and it doesn't get too hot in the summer. So it's really good. The Aussie side's all pretty much finished. It's like my Australian nursery, and the other side here, it's actually a divided wall, and that's going to be like colder rainforest species, and then a few. I've got an area for keeping foxes and things off, a few outdoor things that I'll be doing as well and stuff. So, yeah, busy, constantly busy,
Hey,
constantly tired, constantly. It'll be nice when everything's built and done. I could actually enjoy
maybe we'll find something else to do then.
it. Yeah, oh god, yeah, no, no. Yeah, buy land and then do it bigger. It's like,
There you
hopefully.
go. That's always the plan.
So the goal's much bigger, but I'm making do of what I can with like a little 2-bedroom house with a large garden, basically. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, somehow just squeezing it all in and making it work at the moment.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Beautiful, beautiful word. What drew you to the Australian species? What attracted you to them specifically?
Oh god, I mean, if you imagine you're the person like seeing almost any of the Aussie geckos for the first time and just how unique they are. I mean, some of them are like the little Cassium domain. Oh, we breed them as well. That's what I missed. Yeah, the Cassium domain are absolutely stunning. With the reds and the patterns and things, they're really pretty. And then you've got just Stropharis. They're just wild. They're like, really spiky dragons without the wings, basically, aren't they? It's, and a variety of
Jason,
colours and
bunch
things.
of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Jason, really successful with them actually.
Oh, nice, yeah. Yeah, it's same here.
Yeah.
Yeah, which species you work with then, Jason?
I got Ciliaris, and then I was breeding the Stropharis intermedius as well.
Oh, yeah.
I gave that. Yeah, I traded that one to my buddy Wyatt over him and Landon. So
Yeah, I know
they
Landon
got the
well.
rest
He's
of
a really
my
nice guy.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Good kid.
So I sent my 1.1 over to him so he could work with those. He traded me a was it Saltoria salabrosis?
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah. And then, like I said, I'm working with a few Ciliaris right now. So I got one from Landon. I still have mine that are produced. Like right now, I think I got like 6 eggs in the incubator already from the one pair.
Oh, nice.
So just
Excellent.
wait. Yeah, like my first one should be hatching like this week. That's
Oh, wow.
well, at least that's what I'm aiming for. At least what I'm hoping. It should be like day 60 pretty soon.
No, that'll be awesome. Very nice.
Yeah, so definitely need to get some more Stropharis species. I need that Tenacata. Man, that thing is
Do
so
you
beautiful.
prefer the white eye, green eye, or do you prefer the red eye? What do you think?
I like the red eyes.
The red eye.
If I could get red eye, I will get red eyes.
It's one of my dream animals. I'll get them.
The-
They're definitely one of my dream animals.
Yeah, the only reason why I don't have them or haven't worked with them is because I've got so many of the others. I'm actually, even
trade
though,
trips, man, trade trips.
yeah, exactly. It's such a hard thing to do because I've got some really nice Catherine form Ciliaris, but I'm finally giving away my last group, and I'm just going to concentrate on bands in that space instead.
Yeah.
Which I really like, and I know there's a few less people working with them.
Yeah, our buddy just got a pair of those at the last Tinley. Yeah, Matt. Yeah, he got a pair of Ciliaris aberrants.
Yeah, they're stunning. They're really nice. It's the spikes on the tail and stuff are angled slightly different. They're a bit instead of being like curved, they're a bit more angular, which is quite cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got a really pretty male. I really want. He's got like loads of Dalmatian-y pattern on him on his head and stuff, and it's the black patterning on him is really nice.
Nice.
But yeah, fingers crossed I get a bit of luck with them in the future. And other males, Aussie Abrams I found can be quite aggressive towards the females, and you got to keep a close eye on them.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Yeah, with just the Ciliaris in general, like as soon as she drops eggs, the male's all over her. Like he just like, oh, it's not even 24 hours. He's like, nope, time to go. Let's go. Let's get it real quick. Yeah.
Time to put some more in.
Yeah, pretty much. And I'm like, damn, he does not wait for nothing. It's like, all right, you're gonna get messed up one of these days. She'd be like, you know what, you need to chill out because I need some time.
Yeah, considering the females are, relatively bigger than the males, the push to look.
Yeah, Yeah, exactly.
I'm here do something really, really funny. So not the males. I've had a few now where they'll sprawl out and play dead when you put them in with a female, and when the females walk past, none the wiser, they'll jump on the females.
That's
Surprise!
hilarious.
I'm on you. That's
That's
really
how they
funny.
do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, sneaky.
How do you
All
keep your
right.
geckos? Do you do like you keep them in glass, plastic? Do you do a bioactive setup? How do you house your animals?
I'm trying to push to try and get everything into some sort of terrarium, but I guess I'm trying to get things in either PVC or polypropylene. If I had to pick and had everything in one material, it'd probably be polypropylene just because it's bomb-proof. Like it's welded together and it's lighter, and you know when it gets if you accidentally knock it and it doesn't scratch, it doesn't snap in half. And I've noticed with PVC it can be quite fragile. Although it looks great, looks really good. I've got my big Stropharis wall up, if you like, the nursery where I'm raising them. But yeah, I think in an ideal world it'll be polypropylene with glass fronts, so the fronts don't scratch either. Because we work with desert species, and all it takes is a tiny grain of sand on your cloth when you're wiping them down, and the whole front's scratched to pieces.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and talk about some because we came here to talk about some Pachydactylus Rangei. So what's their where did they come from?
So they come from the Namibian desert or Namib Desert, sometimes say. It's on the south end of Africa, and you've got two types. You have, which is not many. Well, it's a recent discovery, I think. So you have the inland one, which is more inland, it's a bit larger, and they are more striped in resemblance. Like they almost have like virtually no pattern, like quite bright pink, and often have like a yellowish golden tint to the back along the dorsal and stuff. And then you have the coastal one, which is quite a bit smaller, but they can get big still. I found here and they're marbled. They're more of a marble colour. They have like this really marbled brown patterning over the top of the usual bright pink colours on the.
Is that so for those inlands? Is it just because they're around a lot more? They have a lot more opportunities for food. That's why they're getting a little bit bigger. Is that like is that what they're
Maybe.
saying about them?
I'm not sure. I'd have to wander out there myself, I suppose, one day and see.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I said, I do get some marble ones getting pretty big, but I think when I see them, maybe the inland one's a bit longer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And which ones are kept mostly in captivity? Is it just
Um,
the coastal ones?
yeah, probably they're probably the ones which are being found the most in the past and have been brought into captivity the most, I believe. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the marbled ones.
Okay. So what kind of so for those coastal, so what's the climate over there for the coastals?
Even though it's suggested that the coastal, they won't be on the edge of the coast, I'd imagine, because they rely on a very, very dry sand, very loose substrate. Um, the key to keeping them is totally dry sand at all times. They actually have a very delicate and absorbent skin, and this skin, if there's too much humidity or if they get directly too wet, they can actually swell up and die. So yeah, they're sensitive to high humidity, but it's very easy to not do that. They require a light mist in the morning. But if you imagine like when you squirt yourself with some aftershave or something, just really light. And I usually just spray along the walls really quick and just let them lick that up, and it does the trick.
You're doing it manually. You're spraying manually, or no misting systems.
Yeah, I do have a battery powered sprayer for doing everyone, and I can turn the nozzle really tight so it lets out a really fine mist. So I can do that and just go, and literally like half a second's worth of water on the back wall, and then that's it. But yeah, really delicate. I dare say you could probably, and I might toy with this one day, set them up on a fogger where it comes on for a short period of time at dawn, which would be nice. It probably work really well, yeah. So like a really, really short amount of time.
Yeah. So with their common name is like the web-footed gecko, right?
Yeah. So they are the only one of the. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say. So what is the purpose of their web feet?
So with their web feet, they have the ability to shovel and almost swim like through really loose substrate really fast.
Okay.
Similar to some sand skink species that people have seen and things like that.
Oh,
But
okay, gotcha.
but these, instead of shoveling with their nose and stuff, they will just try and kick the sand out the way and get their head in at the same time and then keep going. It'll literally be one hand passing it to the other. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it. So the Rangei is the only one with webbed feet on all 4 feet as well. So the
yeah. Because there's another one that only has it on the back 2 feet.
yeah, Van Zili, I think it is something like that. I'm not
Okay.
entirely sure on the pronunciation, but yeah, Van Zili, they're really pretty, and people in
Yeah.
Europe, there was a couple of friends in Europe who were working with them quite well. I don't know what's happened since. You don't see many about now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
another.
mean, you don't see a whole lot of Pachydactylus in the hobby. Like
Oh God,
it's
yeah.
like yeah, it's like one of those dying species. Like I mean, we had the chat with Frank a few weeks back, and like, few breeders stop working with them. Next, they just disappear because not everybody wants
That's
to
it.
work with them.
Yep.
And it's
This
crazy. Like,
this is why I I I think it's really paramount that people do work with rarer stuff, because, like you say, it's just so easy for it to just be gone and not
disappear.
available, and
Yeah.
you never know when that day is going to come where the country says, right, you're not getting any more. So,
Oh yeah,
uh,
yeah.
which
Absolutely.
happens. So, and then
Yep.
that's it. It's
That's
done.
yeah,
And
that's
the
all
more
coming
rare stuff,
too.
yeah, and the more rare things that we have in the hobby, the less likely people are going to be inclined to go and continue saturating the market with like the overcommon stuff, the overbred stuff, which can end up in rehomes and things, or just not really looked after.
Yeah.
And just because something's rare doesn't mean it's delicate and that difficult. I mean, I know it sounds scary when I say Ranjai, if you're overspraying the swell up, but I mean it's a very easy thing not to do.
Yeah.
They're really hardy. I mean, they're fantastic hunters. They'll chase almost anything you throw at it. Like, even if it's too big for them, so you've got to watch out for that as well. It's better to feed them a lot of smaller items than just one or two big ones, especially in a group.
Yeah.
And then they all get a fair share. They grab something instead of accidentally grabbing each other.
You say group. What size group are you keeping? Where are you doing? What are you doing housing wise? Like 1 point
Um,
whatever's? You're doing multiple males. What do your groups look like?
so you could quite easily even keep males together, as long as there's enough females about. Um, yeah,
Really?
they don't really fight. And funnily enough, it's the females that call the males. So they have a very interesting call as well. I'll compare it to like an evil laughing duck. So, and you can walk in there and you can do it, and you'll get a chorus sometimes back of these like what sounds like laughing ducks back. But yeah, and it's just another thing that just makes them fantastic. They're very active. Um, yeah, it's just bizarre. Like, for me, in many ways, if someone had to really pin me down and put a gun to my head or something and said, "What's your favorite species?" It'd probably be these. Yeah, at least up to now. I know there's a few more Namibian species and stuff around that area that are quite unique or not being kept yet. But yeah, hands down. I mean, naturally they look beautiful as well, and then you see the natural fluorescence at night when you shine a little black light on them, and
Yeah.
it's like a whole new gecko again. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. I think
You're
that's
really
one of
spoiled with
those
them.
appealing things for them.
Yeah, you're really
That's
spoiled with
it's a
them.
good way to get people into them. Be like, look at this right here. Little
Yeah,
features
yeah,
like that helps that popularity, right?
absolutely. Yeah. Well, before it was quite widely known about the fluorescence. I think they were still doing really good. And they're really prolific as well. We've already got like maybe 8 clutches in the incubator now this year. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I'll try and show you. I'll try and show you. I'll bring these with me. I do have a torch on me. So let's go have a look. Let's go have a
Damn,
look.
I missed a good one. There you go, guys. That's what
Because
we're
I've
talking
got,
about. These things blow.
yeah, the light I was using before on some of those photos is okay, but I'll see.
What nanometer is it? Are you using like I don't know, remember the exact numbers, but I know there's certain types of nanometers that show better fluorescence than others.
Yeah, well, I found this torch. I'll try and send a link and thing. I need to start my own YouTube, don't I, and do some affiliation links.
There
This
you
torch is
go.
getting sold
Yep.
by the masses next. So anyway, there's a Ranjai set up here. Some adults. along here. This is going to be really difficult because I have to do everything opposite.
Oh, nice.
Try
So
and bring
they
this.
climb too? They climb? Will they climb on stuff?
They'll climb up there, but they can't get out of here. If you can. Oh, you're going to get the shine on the bottom.
Yeah, they'll probably see the glare.
Yeah, can you see any geckos yet? I'm trying to point the camera for you. This
Oh,
is
there we
really
go. I
difficult.
see them.
You see some at the back?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yep.
saw
We
some.
saw
Yeah, we
one.
saw some.
There. I don't know which.
Oh, yeah, yeah. There you go.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So yeah,
Very
so
cool.
this
What
torch is really
size?
good.
Yeah. What size enclosure is that?
So that's it's I think it's in millimeters, so it's a 300 deep, 900 wide, so it's 3 foot wide, and it's about 200 tall. So yeah, nice
That's a
long
nice.
thing because they love to run. They love to run up and down, so they've got a nice bit of space to run. And here's they are some of the Struff fibs.
Yeah, I was
Dude,
just
yeah, when
looking
I
at that
saw
on
that,
Instagram.
like,
Beautiful.
yeah, Wally sent that to me one day, and I was like, dude, I'm so jealous of that right there. Like, that is
You can
amazing.
build it, Jay.
Like, I can't
Could
build
spin it
shit,
and then maybe
man. Like, where's all the wires at? That's what I want to know.
all the out behind. I mean, I haven't quite finished tying all the wires down, so there's like this.
Yeah, it just looks so clean.
It's getting there. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
again hard
Using
work.
one giant UV bar? Is that one giant light that spreads over all the enclosures?
Yeah. And then an LED one as well.
Nice.
I've got a skylight in here as well. That we've got in. I think it's a
Oh,
nice
nice.
sunshine.
That beats the natural sunlight.
And this is a 6 foot wall. So even the doors like really thick. If I can, when we're talking about insulation, so I
Yeah.
could easily keep 2 rooms. So this room can stay hot like Aussie style, and so the door. There it is. So you can see how thick the walls are. So this like the whole
Oh,
width of my
damn.
hand.
Yeah,
And
nice.
there we go, and it's all gone.
Nice. Beautiful work. Beautiful craftsmanship.
I can't take all the credit. My fiance did help. So,
Hey,
Good. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
that's great.
It's better than having a team, you know? Team.
absolutely, yeah. I was very fortunate that she wasn't one of them squeamish girls, and really enjoyed the geckos and seen them for the first time.
I can tell
It was
you how it
nice.
goes when you got with them.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stay in there for too long and chat because it's really hot.
I bet. Yeah, trust me.
Obviously,
I did our first few podcasts in my room, in my old place where I had all my Aussie geckos, so all the heat lamps were on. I'm sweating my ass off. I was like, yeah, no, I'm not finna do this no more. It is too hot
Yeah,
for this.
that's it. Yeah, you need a separate room to talk. It's crazy hot
Yeah.
in there. So with those setups as well, with the Struffs, none of them have a heating element on them. None of them.
I was just going to
Really?
ask that.
Yeah, they do not need it. I put my temp gun on there because I check it regularly. For instance, I put it on a couple of days ago, and some of them were reading 34 to 40 degrees. So and all it is, the LED's giving off heat, but so is the luminaires, the
Arcadia Luminize?
Arcadia luminaires bars. So
Nice.
every setup's got one of them on, and these long LEDs as well, and it's keeping it more than hot enough. It's acting like a basking spot on itself. So.
Yeah.
And the good thing is with Struff is they literally bask. Like, unlike a lot of
Yeah.
nocturnal animals, they really do give these good UV and stuff because they bask during the.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
So,
yeah,
what about? Oh, damn it! I just lost my train of
we're
thought now.
talking about the giant.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I just totally forgot. So, because you already said, oh, I was gonna ask you about the Luminize, right? So, how do you like that Luminize? Like that whole the dusk and dawn effect of it. Is it working out really well for you?
So it's actually Bluetooth, which that's a pain because you can't keep an eye on it, from a distance sort of thing, 'cause it's Bluetooth. But you can set the intervals, and if you do it right, you can have it'll gradually come on and gradually come off. The biggest use I've found for it is for my Abronia, where if you imagine, so they live in high altitude, so these guys in intervals, they get really strong UV. Where they're from, because it's high altitude. It's like when people go skiing, they come back sunburned because they haven't put any protection on the face or anything. And so with the Abronia, I put them on the highest percentage luminaires, and I'll have it dim and so it's stronger and weaker throughout the day in different intervals, as if it was acting like cloud cover. So that works really well. So it works really well for stuff like that in particular. But yeah, you do sometimes have to faff around with them, because sometimes you'll like I've come downstairs at an early time in the morning or something. I'm like, oh, the light's still on, and it shouldn't be. And it's like somehow reset itself. But I found that's happening less now. Like when I first installed them and did everything. So I don't know if they've updated the app or done something, but it's definitely a lot better now. That's happening like once every 5 months or something. But before it was like quite frequent.
Do you have those, Jay? Do you have the Luminize?
No, I don't. I just have regular Arcadia lights. But
my question is, so you probably know this though. So one bulb, right? Say I buy a Luminize and it's a 12%. I can, in theory, make that 12% UVB only emit 5%. Like I can just set it lower and it'd be 5%.
Yeah, it'll be difficult to say exactly what percent it'll be given out, because I mean the best way to always detect that is using the UV meter. So you knock it down. If it says 5% on the Bluetooth app, I still would. Yeah, I wouldn't presume that means that it's now giving out 5%. But do you know what I mean? It'll be giving out 5% of power to it. Yeah. But I guess in theory you could. Yeah, in theory you could definitely work it out to try and give you less.
That's damn. I never knew that. I always thought that it was just, if it was 12%, it just gave off 12% no matter how dim or bright it was. I don't know why I thought that, but I just had this assumption that it was 12% was 12% all the time, not figuring that you could lower the power, dim the light, and get less for exactly like you said. Animals don't get the same UV index all day. It spikes and lowers according to the sun's location in the sky. So it's brilliant that you can do that. I didn't know that. Damn.
Yeah. And apparently, all of these, your tubular, your T5s and things, they've always had the ability to be dimmed. It's just the technology that goes with it or something. So Arcadia have made the fitting to make it do it. So you can actually use. Hopefully, they won't get upset with this, but you can actually use different bulbs with it, because once you've got the fitting, you can then say, well, I might give the Exoterra one a try, or something like that, and snap that in and give that a go.
Yeah, because all you need is the fixture, the luminized fixture, and put a different UV bulb in there if you wanted to.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm sure Arcadia loves that one.
Either of you tried those new ones?
Well, they still might sell the original product more, so.
Have either of you tried the new Repti Sun bulbs? Those new Zoomed. I hear Zoomed came out with a new UV technology too. It's not a system, but it's a bulb. But I've been hearing really good things about it.
No, I haven't.
No,
I'm still working on. Well, I mean, I do have Zoomed bulbs, but not that one. I just got a regular. Which one is it? I think it's this one back here for my Strophears.
Yeah, those are the ones I use. But this new stuff, I'm dying to talk to someone that's used them, because I saw what's his name?
Talk to Jack.
I'll have to get someone. I know someone called Thomas. Maybe he can help. He has a big a whole thing on lighting and stuff. And he does it. You've probably seen his channel.
I've seen his YouTube channel. He does some really good stuff.
Oh yeah, he'll nerd out about UV and lighting and stuff for a very long time.
Works for Arcadia.
No, he does he's like a third party, so he does testing on stuff on all these reptile lights.
He'll tell him if he's happy with it or not, and whether it needs more tweaks, stuff like that. Apparently, I think he did a lot of work on the recent Exoterra stuff, so he can tell you an awful lot about that. Exoterra, did they bring out a new LED UVB thing?
Yeah, they did.
I thought it was Zoomed. I thought Zoomed.
Yeah, Exoterra they brought out the LED UVB lights where you can control the modes of them and everything like that.
I have those. I have two of those. I got the third. I have both of them. I mean, they're cool, but I don't know. I use the UVB meter on them, obviously, and I've tested them out, and it reads okay. But a lot of people, like when I started posting them when I first bought them, people would bust my stones about them and say, well, UV technology isn't this, and it's just convincing your meter to say that it's doing that. UV, LED UV diode isn't doing this. And, so I let people into my head, unfortunately. But, I mean, they read appropriately on my meter. You know,
Yeah.
the bars, they're cool because they incorporate a growing light aspect, and I keep them on, you know, tropical enclosures, but I can dim them. I have them set to different hours of the day. It brightens and dims, you know, it does that whole thing, but it
Yeah,
is just
maybe
LED.
drop Thomas a message. I'm very sure he'll be able to give you a very detailed rundown of it.
Yeah, I
He's
think I will actually.
yeah.
Somebody that
Drop
knows.
him a thing. He'll tell you everything. He'll tell you whether they're good, whether they're no good. You
Yeah.
know, I'm sure he'll be able to help you out. Yeah, this
Yeah, I'll send you
he's
the link to that one, Ant, to
Yeah,
his YouTube channel. Yeah. So do you put lights on all your stuff?
uh, generally yeah, but to a point. I mean, the Rangei, I've never really bothered putting UV on them.
Yeah.
Generally because my terrains have been a bit like that, a bit shallow, so I'm worried maybe the UV might cause more harm than good. And at the same time, I've had a lot of success keeping them the way I am. So if I
Yeah.
can improve it, I definitely
They
will.
also they get because you still have they have that little sunroof that they're still getting natural light, so they can still find their circadian rhythms, right?
Yeah, well, I suppose it at least give them an idea of day and night. I don't know how much
Yeah.
light comes through that UVB wise. From my understanding, a lot of glass doesn't let UVB pass through.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah. Yeah.
quartz, 100% quartz glass or something like that, it lets almost all UVB through or something like that. This
Really?
I'm not entirely sure, and I've tested this. I bought one of those cheap Chinese LED UVB bulbs. Now I've never used them because people say bad things about them, but I wanted to see if they work. They do work. They read on my meter, but it's really hard to get the distance at a safe distance. So the issue I think that there is with them is that it gives off way too strong of UVB. And again, I tried them on a dimmer to see if it would work, but the way it dimmed was, I'm trying to remember what happened. With them, it might have only dimmed the actual light, but the UV was still pretty strong, I think.
Oh,
So they
okay.
might have been like that. And also, I tried it because they had no protection over the thing. You know, there's no glass on it or whatever. So I'm like, well, that's not really good if you accidentally get tiny bit of moisture on it or something. It won't be any good. But I could also order you can order quartz lenses off what's it called, AliExpress as well. So I got the bulbs from there, and
Okay.
then there was another merchant on there that was selling the quartz lenses. So I had the quartz lenses which fit, and yeah, the UVB passed through it perfectly still. So
Okay.
Yeah.
there is the stuff there, there is the technology there, but I think you got to be careful and make sure whoever's selling the product, whatever brand they are, whoever they are, it's tested and all that stuff. So this is why I literally bought one ball just to see.
Yeah.
I
And
bought a few
I knew I
myself.
wasn't going to be fitting into anything yet.
I have them, you know, and I bought the meter, you know. I like to do experiments all the time. I'm always experimenting. And truth be told, I don't know how to tell if an animal is or isn't benefiting, right? Because I use them and the animals bask. My animals aren't dying. They're not getting
Yeah,
burned. They're not doing anything. So a few of them, the LED UVs, I was getting too strong of a reading, too close. So I had to pull them away. You know, that was the
yeah.
only thing that I found to be a little strange is that they would give an outrageous reading if you put it right on the LED, you know. So I gauged it
2 seconds after that,
accordingly.
I'm going to put him inside. He's going up on 2 seconds.
Okay.
I will. Oh, go on then.
Well, while
Everyone
he's gone real quick, I do want to give a shout out to the Rattlesnake Ranch. We went there. Me and my girl went there yesterday. And it's a nice facility. So it's a rattlesnake and it's a canine training place.
Apologies.
No,
It
no
was too
worries.
much
I
for
was
me.
just plugging some of this rattlesnake stuff that I went to go check out yesterday. So what they do is like if you want to take your dogs there and you get to the dogs get to train with rattlesnakes, knowing what a rattlesnake is, stuff like that. Saw a few people go through it yesterday, and what they do, they kind of like muzzle the rattlesnake. So it will still do a little S stance and everything, rattle, and it'll strike, but it's not going to bite them, right?
Hmm.
So it's pretty cool. And then
Did
you
it
also
muzzle
get
the
to
dog?
do yeah, and it's
I'll
just to
tell you
train the
how, 'cause
dog.
my dog would eat that shit, man.
Yeah,
Boy.
and it's training the dog to like, no, you leave this thing alone, type of thing. But dude, so many different species of rattlesnakes in that thing. Great, from all the way from the West Coast to the East Coast and South America.
Where's
He
this
has
at? Where was this?
us of like maybe 45 minutes away from me.
What's the name of the town though? Do you know the name of the
Oh,
town?
Cave Creek.
Cave Creek, Arizona.
Yeah, or Yeah, no, yeah, Cave Creek. But yeah, no, definitely it was cool experience. Cody's a real cool dude. Now, so they were telling me like, yeah, if you do this, you get an hour tour. If you do this one, it's like a 3 hour tour, and people explain a lot of different things. Take out rattlesnakes. He had Gila monsters there. He showed he had like all where all his babies were, all the rattlesnake babies, all the like. Yeah, dude, it was so much shit. Like it was crazy. Like there was some dope like I think our favorite one was like the white speckled locality rattlesnake. That thing was so active,
Is that
and
a
it was just
pygmy? White speckle? Is that a pygmy rattlesnake?
no. It's just a regular
White
one.
speckle.
I can't remember the Latin on them, but
So you got
I
some
know most
cool
of them.
species out there. Is it
Yeah, most of them are
native to
crotalus.
Arizona?
Yeah.
It is.
So like the speckled ones are like I guess there's like different localities of them because you got like a red speckle, black, white. Yeah, but yeah, definitely the white one was like that big standout, and then there's this other one that was like literally like it was really like pinkish red,
Oh yeah, they're
and like
cool.
if you press your thumb on it, you can see all like the blood kind of separating. Yeah, those right there, really dope animal.
Very
But
cool.
yeah, definitely if you guys are ever in Arizona, go ahead check it out.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Do you keep any snakes, Paul?
No, but I used to work with a few. I've had carpet pythons. I've had a couple of royals in the past, but they bored me a bit. I got some stick for that, but yeah, I mean, come on. Yeah, and the type I definitely consider again is the Boiga cyanea, the rhea fang species.
Oh yeah,
They're
yeah.
really cool.
I
They
like
keep you on
those.
your toes. They're really fast. They've got a really long strike range on them.
Mangroves.
Yeah,
Mangroves.
and I
They're pretty
managed to
too.
breed them. Yeah, I managed to breed them. I was really young, maybe 17. But the female kept dropping the clutches off a branch, so unfortunately nothing
Dang.
hatched. She did this a few times, and because I was the only one in the UK, I was like, I'll give them to someone a bit more experienced at the time. In the end, but they were really fun. I absolutely loved them. And to be fair, you know, um, they were a challenge. Everyone has a similar issue with Boiga cyanea, you'll never get them feeding, all this stuff, but you always got to ask, well, how hard has someone tried? So
Yeah.
what I did, I can remember I'd try and, because I was also trying to, get them to strike at me less, and they did, and this works. So I'd hook them out, get them out as gently as I can. Sometimes I'd use a branch that seemed a bit more natural to them rather than a cold metal hook. So if I had a long branch, I could hook them, put them in a big tub, and at first I was having to grab them and just push the like wrap up or something into the mouth till they bit onto it. As soon as they took the bite, I would quickly close the lid, turn the lights off, close the door, go out the room, and then this way they got no distraction. They had no threat in the room anymore, and it worked. I'd come back in, the wrap pup has gone. So it was a good yeah, I'm glad it worked. And they got really big then after that. They got huge. I mean, the female, I remember a pet shop now and again, he'd have stillborn guinea pigs that he never sold. He'd just freeze them and say, oh, you can have these as food. And the female was taking them down. And these are big. These are like the size of your phone, These stillborn guinea pigs, and this female, skinny species, supposedly, she got big, and yeah, she was scary but cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I really enjoyed
Yeah.
them,
One of
and
these
and
days
I'd
I'm gonna
love to.
get me a snake.
Yeah, I'd love to get into like snail eaters, slug eaters, all of the weird stuff. That's me
Oh
to a
yeah,
T.
that's
Yeah, I
cool.
love the
Like
weird stuff.
if I could get one that eats crickets, I'll be great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wonder,
I know that
I
there
guess
is one.
there is some, yeah,
garter
Yeah.
snakes would. Garter snakes would take
Yeah.
crickets.
yeah,
Yeah. There's a couple different ones that will take crickets. So
yeah, absolutely.
I might be on the lookout pretty soon for those. If
I've
you
seen a
know,
Did
lot
you
of
see?
people recently keeping the snail eaters, like you said, snail eaters and egg eaters. Actually, I've been
Yeah,
seeing them
yeah,
really
they're
take
cool
off.
as well.
yeah, we had some at our pet shop. I saw them the other day. They
Really?
had like two like egg eating snakes.
You'd have
Have
to
you?
source quail eggs, but I guess you can buy quail eggs. Like most,
They sell them at my shop.
higher end grocery stores, you could get them. You can buy
Yeah,
quail eggs.
Yeah, they sell them at my reptile shop.
See,
yeah,
there you
nice.
go.
Yeah.
Have you seen the one that I think he discovered it? So it's Leonardo DiCaprio, the actor. He found a species. You need to look it up. So the species of
Oh
snake that he
shit!
Yeah.
found, it is ridiculously stunning. Its eyes literally look like rubies. It is crazy.
Oh wow.
It's like white, yellow, and red all the way down. It is one of the most beautiful, serpentine species you've ever seen. It is fantastic.
Yeah,
It's
nice.
something cool. I'm sure if you just type
So,
that in, it'll come up.
Reptiles? Is he into
Mhm.
reptiles?
Yeah, it must be. I think he's created something to like sort of protect them or something. I'm not entirely sure. I was just so mesmerized by the picture.
Himalayas.
Hmm?
It's from the Himalayas, I guess. So
Yeah.
DiCaprio's Himalayan snake has doomed snout, gray collar. Let me see a picture of it.
You found it. It is. Yeah, that's it. That is the one.
oh
Look at that.
wow,
It's
look at
ridiculously
what.
nice. It's ridiculously nice. Yeah, yeah.
Thought I read something on like Reptile magazine before about that one.
That's
just-
cool. That's the first time I'm hearing about it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
DiCaprio discovered it in the Himalayan mountains, Himalayan mountain range.
So it'd have to be things like that, you know. And again, if I was getting into frogs, I obviously love glass frogs, Philomedusa bicolor, the really big waxy monkey
Okay,
frogs.
yeah.
They're just brilliant. I just love how grumpy they look like a bunch of like miserable, lazy politicians, don't they? They're fantastic.
Love frogs.
We're
I love
deep
frogs.
pro
I
up
feel
on
so
yeah,
funny.
yeah. And then you want to look at obviously rain frogs, breviceps. I think are fantastic. Obviously hard to obtain or keep. No one's really kept them going properly yet, I don't think. But if there's other stuff which is really cool as well. So if you look up Calulina species, which is like the rainforest type of rain frogs from Africa. Now some of them again look ridiculously nice. So they look like stubby little boglins like the rain frogs do, but they're like a bit more warty, a bit more bumpy skin, and they have like bright yellow colours with black stripes and these like turquoise eyes. So it's again just brilliant species.
I think the thing with them is their brumation. You know how they bury themselves so deep. It's like you'd have to really mimic that process.
Absolutely, yeah.
Real route
Really,
or whatever to get them to
really
breed
deep
and live
substrate.
properly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done a ton of research on them.
Speaking of that,
It's just getting the ones that I want to keep is the
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, exactly. Speaking of that, so for these Rangei, is there any specifics that you need to do, like as far as like cooling down, brumating, and then like getting them back up to like
Absolutely.
to mate?
They will not breed if you don't brumate them. If they do not go through a harsh hibernation, they will not do anything. Like Strophoeris, I don't know if you found that. If you don't hibernate them, they don't do anything. So again, and I pretty much hibernate them the same as them, and almost at the same time, and in the same room. So all my adults, they'll stay together in that one room, and that'll get pretty cold, all the way down to maybe like 14 degrees. And then give
14
them
Celsius, right?
yeah, Celsius, yeah, Celsius.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I always Celsius, so I couldn't tell you what it was in Fahrenheit. But yeah,
I can.
yeah. So it's good of it's a good job that you say like, oh, because there could be people over there that go, oh, 14 Fahrenheit, and then like all I guess is a
Frozen
like,
gecko, that's what they're gonna
frozen,
have.
like,
Yeah, so that's like it's like 57 degrees
yeah,
Fahrenheit. Yeah.
So you're
like
decreasing
what
when you
would
do that as
14
well?
degrees Fahrenheit be like -3? But yeah,
Are you
so yeah, it's a good job.
decreasing when you drop the temperatures? Are you dropping, the hours of sunlight as well?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So again, I'll drop like an hour a week or something until I get down to like maybe 6 hours. 6 hours, I think. And then so at the coldest, so once and I usually drop the temperature as well, like a few degrees, 3 to 4 degrees each week, until I hit that cold spot. So where everyone's down to like roughly anywhere between 14 and 16 degrees daytime, and then I will keep them cold for up to 8 weeks, and then start cycling them back in again. So usually I start to heat things up mid-January, and then by mid-Feb they're all mating and doing the stuff.
Okay.
Lots of animals.
So during that whole brumation part, are you watering them, or you're not feeding them, right? You're just like letting like for this like month and a half, 2 months, you're not feeding them at all.
Yeah, so as you're cooling them, you're feeding them less,
You're just feeding them
cooling
less.
them in the
Okay.
daylight, you're feeding them less. But once you hit that coldest temp, they're not being fed. They're not being fed for the 8 weeks or whatever, and then
Okay, all right.
As you slowly warm them up, slowly feed them again. Just everything gradual.
And so when you're so when you bring them back up to temp, so are you are you going back to like a regular feeding schedule, like 3 days a week, or are you like one cricket per day or something like that? How are you doing that with yours?
If we're talking about Rangei specifically, again, with them being in groups, I'll always offer them regardless. I'll always offer them so that they're getting at least, if you imagine like medium, small size crickets, so and I'll make sure at least each adult's got, there's 2 crickets per each adult roughly when
Okay.
I put them in. So everyone's got an opportunity to eat something twice without accidentally grabbing each other, sort of thing. So,
Okay.
but yeah, again with the whole wintering and brumation thing, it's so just like when you're cooling them down, the closer you get to the coldest temperature, the less you're feeding them. Until they're at the coldest temperature, you're not feeding them anything, and then as you slowly warm back up. So I suppose if you starting off at 14 degrees, you'll be 17 degrees. So yeah, I'll probably feed them once that week. In the first week that I'm warming them up, second week twice, third week, do you see, and just gradually do it like that. Just gradually build it up.
Okay. All right. Cool.
When will they start to breed? Like right after they warm up? Or I mean, is there an amount of time? I mean, when will they start mating after?
It's hard to say because I don't really get a chance to see them, actually mating much. But I do start to see the females. You can see the eggs through them. Like these have a transparent skin almost. Really a very translucent skin, so you can see the eggs in them, and that's when I know. Yeah.
Just look out. Is there any behaviors? Do they do anything to give you any signs? The females, will they dig like
calling? I suppose the females start to call. Yeah, the way I imagine it. So, and the reason being why the females call, I mean, I presume is, so you imagine the female's in a burrow, and she's protected, whatever, she's okay. And she'll call. The males don't call back; they'll just go try and find the female. So the male that gets to the female is the strongest one in a sense, and gets the mate. The other males that maybe get eaten and picked off in the wild when they're trying to find the female, they're dead, they're gone. So it'll be the strongest male genetics each time in the wild, I imagine. But yeah, it's the females call the males, and the males make the risk.
I think that's like we do that as well, right? No.
Oh god, yeah.
So are they like colony nesters? So will all the females lay in one site, or do they kind of spread it around?
No, they pretty much just lay in places. I think they rely on like the winds and the dry sand to cover the eggs. So they'll dig a little bit sometimes and try and bury it at the bottom, but quite often you see the eggs on the top, like as if they were just waiting for the wind to just do it for them. So
yeah. No, because I was reading something on on Ciliaris. I was reading a scientific paper that because they found like literally they're saying like Ciliaris do in the wild like some colony nesting. Yeah, communal nest. Yeah, and they're like, yeah, and because they tested all the DNA from all the geckos, and there were like 6 or 7 different like DNA strands. So seven different pairs. So I was wondering if they did the same thing, like all put their eggs in one spot.
No, not all. They make you work.
So the next question is, how do you incubate something like that? How do you incubate eggs that are seemingly laid in such a dry, uninsulated area? How do you go about that?
Yeah, this is a very good question because these are very specific incubation needs. So the eggs are very delicate. If you grab them wrong, they'll crack and break in your hand. So I always like, it's best to scoop them up especially you got like a mini sieve, and it'll just let the substrate down and scoop them up. There's a few ways of doing it, but I've created my own incubation box for this species now, and this seems to work a little bit better. So I've tried to make like a suspension method for them. So they've got water gels at the bottom, and that creates all the humidity that they need, because they do need humidity so the eggs don't dry out as well, because they'll just cook inside if they don't have any humidity. But at the same time, if any moisture touches the eggs, even from condensation, the eggs will go naff. They'll be no good. So you've got the water gel on the bottom, and the water gel is better than putting pure water, because again it eliminates the risk of accidentally splashing them. And get loose water. So I use water gel beads. You can find in like planting media and stuff to keep plants and stuff.
Great idea. I don't see anyone over here doing that, to be honest with you. I don't know. I've never even thought of it.
I now I use that for everything now. Water gel beads for every species that I include, and it is brilliant. and I suspend every egg as well. It just stops them from getting anything off the substrate, anything bad that might be there. So it helps.
So I do that suspended stuff for like Stropharis, like
It
I
works
don't have
so
the
well.
water gels, yeah. So I put like the hatch right on the bottom, boom, put the little egg tray on top of that, so now it's not touching anything. And I'm doing the same thing for like my Haemophilus and
Mm,
for my Cerdaclys. But like with the Cerdaclys and Haemophilus, I'm putting them like getting like just like a milk cap with sand, kind of buried it a little bit in there, and then put that onto the incubation medium, so it's
yeah.
not touching none of the incubation medium, but it's still getting humid in there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's one way exactly how to do Ranjai as well, and that worked for me as well. I used to use Ceramis because you can see when that dries out because it changes color. It goes like a paler color.
Yeah.
So I'd use the Ceramis, and then I'd have, like you said, the egg cups, sorry, the little milk carton lids or whatever with dry sand in, put the eggs in, and it worked actually quite a few that way. But
Yeah.
since changing it to this new way, I got an even better hatch rate. So again.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you that too. What's your hatch rate looking like compared to what you're doing before to what you're doing now? What's the hatch rate looking like?
Yeah, so I'd say before I'd maybe get like maybe 70% hatch rate, and now it's probably closer to 90, so at
Oh,
least
nice.
90, maybe more. But yeah, really, this year will be a bit more of a full test on it because I'll be putting every egg in this way. See, before I was
Okay.
like half and half because I didn't want to take a big risk and a gamble in case this didn't work.
Yeah.
But yeah, it worked. Everything I seem to put in the new method, it seemed to work a bit better. So what I've done is I've got some plastic egg crate as well and created my own suspension bit. So because the egg crate was too wide, the eggs would fall straight through. So what I did is I meshed underneath it. So I glued the mesh to it, to the bottom of that, and then I put Ceramis all over the top of it. I do have like a little clear plastic straw to make a little spout. So humidity and water can go up through the spout as well and circulate around. It's sweet. I'm gonna have to try and get some pictures or something to show because it sounds crazy, like, and it is in a way,
Oh,
but
I get
it
what you're
works.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So the mesh also helps hold the Ceramis and stuff, and then the Ceramis is mostly there just so the eggs can sit in without rolling around because they're circular eggs. Um,
Sure.
but yeah, it works. Yeah, the humidity is getting in just right. The eggs aren't touching any direct contact with moisture, and they're not having direct contact with substrate, and yeah, they're hatching really well. And one more thing as well, I have a lid on it, and again, so it doesn't get condensation. I cut a big hole out the lid, but then I meshed over that. And the reason why I had the meshing is so no like nasty little flies or bugs or anything can get in on the off chance. Nothing can fly and get to the eggs. So, but yeah, having the hole in the lid will stop condensation from forming and dropping on the eggs as well.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, you got to be innovative when you're keeping species that aren't, super, popular. There's no run of the mill method like crested
Yeah. Yeah.
geckos or New Caledonian things in general. It's an art. You have to innovate a technique, and that's awesome.
Absolutely, absolutely. Someone will prop up somewhere and after seeing this, they'll probably go, "Why don't you just do this?" And I'll be like, someone will have another
It's like,
method, and it'll be like, "Yeah, that sounds
well, I
easier."
mean, as
Happen.
long as you're getting to that same destination, it doesn't even really matter, right?
Oh God, yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
You find many things work for some people and just don't work for
Yeah.
you, and vice versa.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
I've been told things like, this Stropharia species, you can keep even males together and they're fine, and then I'm looking and man are attacking the crap out of each other, and I'm like, well, not quite the case. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah. So
So,
yeah,
how long did it take to hatch?
roughly, I'd have to check my notes. I think on that one, didn't really. I think it's quite a while. I think they are one of the longest out of the species we keep.
Oh,
It
really?
could be a long time. I
Oh, yeah.
do. I can't. If I look at my notes, I'll be able to sort of see. That is a good question, and I wish I prepared for it.
No, you're good. I mean, like the other question is like, so how long is the gestation period for a female, and like usually how many clutches does she usually give for a season?
So I'll be able to tell you some pretty amazing with that in a sec. So I'm just going to say here. So I had, yeah, they're taking almost 3 months, I think, to hatch something like
Okay,
that. So, yeah,
that's
it's
not bad. I mean, that's
yeah,
like new cow territory right there, 90
yeah,
days or
and
so.
yeah, anywhere between 90 to 100 days, maybe, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So, 100 days, yeah.
Yeah, you're still on the short side. Like I said, I got stuff over here
Yeah,
that's gonna take like 6 months to hatch. So
yep, absolutely. My Wellington, they were hatching like after every 55 days, which is just it's
yeah,
nice.
Stropharis have like made me so like impatient now. Like, cause just how short their incubation period is, it's like 50 to like 60 days, and
Yeah,
that's it.
catches you off
Everything
guard.
else,
Yeah. You
well,
think
yeah,
I want to just put them eggs in there. Think, oh, there's 4, 6. Oh no, there's 8 of them in there. It's like what?
yeah,
Yeah, it's
It's
yeah,
crazy.
still amazing. You take a ball of goo that turns into a living, full-size creature, and in that short of a period of time, to me, is still always amazing.
Absolutely. And
yeah,
and, and I find it baffling when you see how small some species are, like this Arabicus, and you think it's got a bloody heart. It's got veins. It's got. Uh, you can't comprehend how small all these little pieces are to make that little thing
yeah.
go. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, crazy. They are ridiculously small, though. The smallest thing I've ever seen. Arabicus are like the size, adults are like the size of baby Rangei, maybe smaller. It,
Oh wow,
I can't. I've seen the eggs of them because they're at a show and one of the females had laid an egg, and the egg's almost bigger than the bloody adult gecko. It's like
Wow.
they're oval.
yeah,
Thankfully for the female, these are more oval shaped eggs rather than round, so gives them
yeah.
a bit
Oh
of
yeah, it
relief.
makes a little bit.
It's like,
Yeah.
It's interesting. I want to
What's
get something super small like that just so I can experience, how small the eggs are. Like I don't have anything like that you would consider a micro anything, but I think I want to. I want to add something small just so I could
yeah.
experience it, I guess. It's
These
pretty
things could probably happily live off springtails. I think they're bloody that small.
Yeah, that's the hard part right there. Like just trying to find small enough feeders.
Yeah.
God, that like I
Uh,
struggle so much with like, not struggle, just struggle to find like in our local shops, like just pinheads. Like,
yeah.
cause when you're hatching out, like intermediates hatch out like this damn big, it's like a small cricket is like you only get on maybe one because those things are so big.
Yeah.
But if you try like if people have pinheads, you can give them like two or three and they'll be good to go. But yeah, it's a struggle sometimes to find small enough feeders for a lot of this stuff.
I tend to go for, and it works really well, especially for hatchling Ranjai, is flightless fruit flies. They work really well for them.
Hmm.
Just dust them up, Repressi Calcium Plus, and away they go. Yeah,
Yeah.
that works pretty well.
Uh,
But like you say,
what's the
pinhead
temp on
cricket.
those? I was gonna say, what's the incubate? Not the incubation time. What's the incubation temperatures that you use?
So I think I generally incubate around about 28, and I do a night drop down to 20 in my
Okay.
incubator. So for these deserty species, and it seems to work pretty
Okay.
well.
So on a high of like 82. Okay. Nice. Yeah, that's pretty much what I like. All my Strophares, Chihuahuas, Haemophilus, I got them all incubating around like that same temperature
Yeah,
right now.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's very
Like I
very
said,
easy.
Strophares, it's like 50, 60 days. We'll see about this Haemophilus. Chihuahuas between like 70 and 90 days.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
It's handy, isn't it? When you don't have to have 20 incubators, but you've got 20
Yeah,
species.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
We-
eventually I probably will, like if I want to, because I don't. Well, no, I'm not much for the up and down, the fluctuation. I want like consistent temperatures for incubating.
Yeah.
I like that. It seems like it helps me out a lot. What the hell? No, something's okay. But so for your babies, how are you setting them up?
Pretty much like the adults, just dry
Just a
sand.
smaller, yeah,
It's hard to say. They're just really simple. Like, yeah, dry, loose sand.
yeah,
Here's a point. So it's really important, I suppose, because again, just always consider that the skin's pretty delicate. So I do a little test if there's a product of sand, play sand, anything. I get a bit. I rub it on the back of my hand. If it feels really rough, then I won't use it. And a sand that works quite well, especially if you can mix it in with a smooth play sand, is Red Builder sand. That's really fine grain stuff. But again, you just got to keep it dry and don't let it clump too much because, like I said, they like to swim through the sand of it. They'll cover themselves to the head with they have slightly raised nostrils which will stick out the sand.
yeah,
They don't rely on burrows in the sense of like even other desert species where it has a lot of moisture in there, and that's what holds the burrow together. And and things like that. I imagine a lot of the times there's sandstorms or whatever where they're from, and it's just blowing over them, and they're fine because their nostrils will just stick above the dry sand, and yeah.
Nice.
Awesome. When you started keeping these guys, do you have any suggestions or recommendations as far as resources? What were you looking at for your information when you first got these? Where were you going to gather all of this knowledge?
Well, so for the Rangei, there was next to nothing on them, so I had to rely on good friends that were working with them already. So I think there was a bit of an issue. So there was only really mainly one European breeder, and I had some animals from him, and he seems to be doing really well with them and things. But myself and other people, they seem to not be getting very good eggs off their animal, and I actually managed to obtain some from Philip Tramper from the US.
Oh, nice.
And I mixed the two lines together, and hey presto, just like magic, we're producing a ton of them. Like you won't believe. Some of the females are producing a clutch of 2 perfect eggs every 10 days. This is how prolific they can be. So yeah. So they can be really great. Like,
that's
hatching
crazy.
perfectly solid little babies that grow into big adults. So that's another thing. Like they hatch out like they can literally fit on your fingernail, and then as adults they're much bigger as adults. They're similar size to like a Stropharis, anywhere between like an adult Spiny Gerus and a Ciliaris, like a small Ciliaris. The adults can get quite big, but yeah.
It seems like that new blood just made that stuff just jump. Like just gave it a crazy boost. And I mean, like I think a lot of stuff will help out with that kind of stuff. You give some new blood into it, you start getting stronger babies, more viable, more fertile eggs and stuff like that. And some people don't really like, they just keep breeding the same stuff over and over again.
Consider it.
Eventually everything's start going to degrade. You're not going to have fertile baby or fertile eggs. Your babies that do hatch are going to be a lot weaker just because you're not introducing new blood into them.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you see it often. Do you know what? I see it so much now. There's a lot of Europeans now that have jumped on breeding, particularly Nephrurus Amiae. I see them on tables, and
love those things.
People are looking that are new, and they may, oh look, Amiae, I can finally afford them, and it's like I'm looking at these, and they've got like rubber legs and all these things, like, and they shouldn't even be on the table being sold. These aren't appropriate animals to be passed on. And they shouldn't be encouraged to be bred either if they're in that condition. So we've tried our damnedest to get bloodlines from all over the place at every opportunity to keep things rolling right, and it seems to have paid off. It's a longer way of doing things. It's a more expensive way, but and also holding back. I always say you might produce all these animals now, but you never know what's going to happen down the line. So one of the best bits of advice I can give to people if they're considering breeding reptiles is keep your best ones. Keep your best ones back. If you like the colour and it's quite big and it looks healthy, and especially a female, keep it. Don't let it go. That's yours. And then get a new male to breed to that. And one of the best bits.
I did an interview with someone the other day he breeds New Caledonian stuff, but one of the things he said was, and it seems so simple, but he was like, you never sell your best shit. Like it was one of I asked him for advice, like what's a good piece of advice you would have, never sell your best shit. People are always like, oh, I'll make them again. I'll make another one. Let me get this, $1,000 sale real quick. I'll get $1,000. I'll make another one. I got the parents that made them. You may not.
That's it. See, this was a huge issue with all of us Stilettus breeders. Was we did so well in the beginning, like these, and a lot of people said the same thing. The first year breeding them, we hatched loads. We even got a good ratio of females. And since then, it's just been like, what's going on? Like, and then randomly, like I say, after 3 years, you might get a good year again, and you're hatching them again, and everything's good. We're wiser now, but you can't just sell them, and they can't just go to anybody either. In fact, I believe, unless it's like too many surplus males, myself and the other breeders were just going to be trading amongst each other with them for a few years, I think. Maybe longer. Because we need to get them going. We're going to lose them if we don't. So
how many people
like you?
Yeah. I would say, how many people around you are keeping the Rangei?
Mandai around us. I suppose I moved a couple of pairs on maybe in the UK, but not many.
Yeah.
Usually I'll get someone from America, or in fact, I did return a favour for Philip not long ago. I actually sent him some back to help him out as well.
He's a good dude.
Nice.
He's a good guy.
Oh
I've,
yeah.
I've actually managed to acquire 3 pairs of really good bloodlines, so as well, so they'll be mixed in as well. So
And
yeah,
this
that's
is
good.
where this is where I think lineage is really important right here. Like with
Yeah,
like gecko, like animals that there's not a lot of, so you really have to keep an eye on those at lineage, so you're not mixing like the same blood to get weaker animals. Like so I got like I have one of my strophares are from John from Ghouls-N-Geckos, and then I have another one that's from Mike Tolson from the Gecko Room, and then I have one from Joe Hub, and then I have another one from Landon, which I think is from Phil Trimper. I can't remember, so I got to double check with him. But yeah, no, just making sure you have different lineages of that gecko to make sure you're not, like I said, creating weaker geckos.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's paramount, isn't it? Yeah, there's nothing more important being a breeder than taking full responsibility. It's
Yeah,
yeah, you'll
definitely.
see it. This is kind of why I'm a bit anti-morph, I suppose. In my eyes, you're just breeding something weaker than its former self, and what it could have been. And I
It's
know there is,
genetic mutations.
yeah, exactly, yeah. Um, I get it. Some people they see something looks stunning. It's really cool. It's fine as long as they're doing the correct practices and there's no like backbreeding and stuff going on, to the parents and things. There is ethical ways of doing it, but ultimately, still, an albino is an albino. It's sensitive to UV, to light, all this stuff. So if you're breeding
Yeah,
an albino species that needs to bask, you're not doing it any favors. It's for
yeah,
example.
yeah, definitely. But so, I was gonna ask you. So, what is your what kind of supplements do you like to use, and then what uh, what all the feeders do you like to use with all of your geckos?
And mainly because one of the best feeders is the banded brown crickets or silent crickets. They're one of the most nutritiously valued items you can feed, and they're a lot less prone to causing gout and urate infections and things. A lot of people don't know this, but dubia roaches, they can store protein a bit too well and can
Yeah.
end up causing urate infections and gout and things like that in geckos and obesity as well, all that stuff. Well, crickets again, if you're feeding them only protein, cat food, dog food, stuff like that, which you shouldn't be. Really should be gut loading on more greens, leafy greens, and a bit of veg. I even throw in so I'll use spirulina, bee pollen,
Okay.
and it was a good friend of mine who actually um, he used to keep a lot of Aussie stuff here in the UK called Jason Bernard. He used to be called Reptile Breeder, I think, online, but he's a really good guy, and he taught me a lot with the Aussie stuff. He's really he used to sell his own brand of gut loader, and then told me basically this is what you want to use. So I've stuck to that, and it's done great things. So. But he told me all about spirulina, bee pollen, but I also add in fresh ginger and things like that. And
Oh, nice.
Never tried
there is
that.
a fish food I'll mix in a tiny bit of. It's the full spectrum theremin plus whatever. It's got more vitamin A in it. It's got garlic in it. Apparently, garlic and things can help prevent parasites in animals, and
Oh,
I've
wow.
never had an issue. Worming or nothing, no parasites, nothing with my animals. So I ever
Ginger too. Ginger has some phenomenal antibodies and immune
absolutely.
system building
Yeah.
properties.
If you don't, because I have to order my crickets in bulk because the animals we have, so I have to get the big bulk bags and
Yeah.
stuff. If you A good tip if you want to get rid of the smell, um, put some fresh lime in. It'll make them smell amazing. They don't stink anymore. Few slices of fresh lime and it's much better.
Oh shit! I'm about to
Yeah,
go get some lime after this.
yeah, good, yeah. Yes. So
Yeah.
yeah, cricket's in the main feeder, but I will add. It always depends what the species is. If it's big, like big amya and stuff, I'll even give them Pachnoda beetles. The big grubs, some beetle
Yeah.
grubs. They love to eat them, especially the gravid female. Cataphractus love them. I put a video up before, and they'll grab it and just smash it about.
Yeah.
absolutely thrash it about. It's fun to watch. And obviously waxworms again for breeding females as a treat. Maybe once a week, a few. Um, I definitely generally try to give them more of a balanced, healthier food items than too much of the fatty spoiled stuff. It's a big thing that a lot of people miss when their animals are overfed uh,
Oh
and
yeah.
overweight, and they don't see the problems down the line.
I
But
tell people
I've
all
seen
the
it.
time, famine is much more natural. Famine and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
you know periods of not eating are much more natural for these reptiles
yeah,
than a full belly all the time. Like
yeah.
it's
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and a lot of people don't understand this. They might see an animal that looks slightly thin and be like, "Oh, it's poorly, it's underfed." It's not. Just and then they'll show a picture of one which they think's healthy, and it's like you're like that thing's a mess. Like it's
Yeah.
dragging its ass. It's like,
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Because I do
yeah,
remember,
absolutely.
well, I was watching, I forgot whose YouTube channel it was, but yeah, because he used to feed his Ackie monitors a lot of dubias, and he ended up getting gout all on his, and- yeah, and then it ended up passing away. So definitely, I can, yeah. I was like, I don't feed a lot of roaches or a lot of dubias just because they don't move. They're
Yeah,
they
it's
just
the
they'll get
belly.
right under the gecko, and then the gecko's like, I don't know where to went. So it's like, fuck, nothing. Like I'll feed like red runners every once in a while if I can, whenever I get them,
Yep.
because like the chauffeurs go bonkers for them. They'll chase
Red
all
runners
around,
are brilliant. Yeah,
yeah,
they're,
just doing slaps and stuff.
they're definitely better than dubia roaches, red runners. And
Yeah.
I've created a colony successfully before, but I just got too busy and accidentally neglected the colony a bit this time.
Oh damn.
They're not like dubias where they'll just expand on their own. You do have to look after
Yeah.
them a bit.
Yeah. I've had dubias where I forgot to feed them for like 9 months because I stopped feeding dubias, but I still had a bin of them. Totally forgot about them, and next thing you know, them things are still big as hell. I'm like, oh
Yeah,
shit! Like here,
yeah.
let me throw some oranges in there for y'all real quick and some greens, and they just tore it all up. I'm like, damn, sorry y'all.
But like you say again, dubias they can be safe if you're just so strict with what you're feeding them. If you're
Yeah,
giving them just nothing but veg and stuff, people give them dog food and things. It's like I don't even give that to the crickets.
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I just give all fresh foods, and then like
Yeah,
I'll like mix in a little bit of bug burger, and then like spirulina, and then I got like I said those what the hell they called the bee pollen crumbles.
yeah,
Top that
yeah.
on there, and then I'll put that all on top of some fresh veggies. Let them go at it, and then
And
usually
you don't even have to be like overly like zealous with it. Like you don't have to give this like perfect mix every time you're giving the crickets and stuff something. Now and again, just
yeah
throw
just
in a few washed carrots and stuff, and just that'll keep them going.
yeah just give them enough food to keep them hydrated,
Yeah,
and live long enough so you can feed them off so they're not all dead on the bottom of your totes. You know.
that's it exactly. And then
Yeah.
a couple of days before it's feeding day or whatever, or into your routine, that's when you want to give them the good gut load or the good thing, so your geckos are gonna get it. They're gonna get the
Yeah.
benefits as well. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's just once you get the time and the things right, it's all easy.
Becomes routine. It's just
Yeah.
you know,
Yep. Just like after this, my routine is I gotta go to the reptile shop, go get my stuff, go clean out bins, go clean out the what you call it, my cricket bins, put new crickets in there, put new egg crates in there, fresh veggies, boom, good to go. Tomorrow's feeding day, so boom, then they'll all get fed.
That's it.
Yep. So I was gonna ask you, so is there anything with the so like either adults or babies, is there anything that like people should kind of be worried about or keep an eye on?
Again, generally, I find even as raising them, if you offer enough food items per gecko, they're not really going to fight. They're not going to
Mhm.
really hurt each other. If you do have that inclination that something's going on, just separate them. It's pretty easy. These things when they're small, you can keep them in plastic shoe boxes and dry sand and a heat mat. It's that simple. Sometimes that's just the best way as well. Just
Yeah.
simplicity.
sounds like
And, yeah,
humidity is the issue, not too much water. You can just
absolutely.
pass the water and it tolerate anything. I mean, look at their natural environment. I mean, you got to be a hardy animal to live in an environment like that.
Yeah.
And
Yep. It's
water's
weird.
been killing them.
Yes, it's exactly that. Like they are just adapted to be like bone dry.
Yeah.
Um,
And
so
then
again,
so where you're at, it's pretty high humidity, right? Yeah. Yeah. So
on it.
that's another thing that for people to think about as well. Say, all right, you're in the UK, so it's really high humidity. Where I'm in Arizona, where it's bone dry, so
Mm.
it would be a little bit different for me. Um. So you're. What was I about to, oh, so I was gonna say, like your room that you have them in, right? It's like not. You don't. You're pretty much like almost dehumidifying that room, so it's not crazy.
No, it's just right. I
Yeah.
don't know how to say. Oh, actually, no, because you've asked a good question. I do have. There is an automatic extractor fan in there. If the humidity does rise above, what is it? I think 40%, something like that. So
Hmm.
pretty low. Then that whole, with the young Aussie geckos in everything, all yeah, it'll just draft it out. So yeah, actually, yeah,
Oh, okay.
it
Nice.
has been
Yeah.
tailored for. Yeah. Well, so I have the rainforest room that's next door. That's designed for much wetter climate. That's been
Yeah.
set to like 90%. That one,
Oh
so that
wow.
extractor will come
Ooh.
on. It's a real cool extractor. It
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
a so to prevent backdraft coming in and making the room too cold in the winter, it has an eye that opens up. It has like a plastic, so and then that'll close up again. So there's no backdraft getting in either. It's a bit of
Nice.
engineering, this building. It's quite interesting, and I don't know if you want me to talk about it or not, because there's a bit.
Cool. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Tell
okay.
us what you're using real quick. Tell us, explain for the people. I think it's inspirational. People put so much
Yeah,
time and effort and energy into like a specific animal when the ultimate well-being of the animal is everything else we do.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. If this building was off in certain ways, it could just mean it's useless. Basically, it wouldn't work. So, like you say, too much humidity would be painful for the desert stuff and detrimental. And again, with the temperature stuff, if it at any time of the year it didn't work, it's no good. It didn't work. And obviously, we have very different weather in the UK throughout the year. We can have hot summers up to 40 degrees sometimes on rare occasions, and winters it can be freezing. It can be full of snow. So yeah. So this building, it has a what you call a false roof in it. So it has like a double roof, like a double layer. So the roof is made out of those big, thick 100 mil deep panels, the SIP panels again, as well. But above that, on top of the roof, there's like roof lap again, and then there's another layer. There's another sheet of roofing material over the top of them. And what this creates is like a cavity, like an air pocket. Now, this air pocket's essential to stop it, particularly if you imagine when it snows.
Insulated mug, just like this. They are same idea. It's the air, that buffer space is what keep on saying.
Exactly, yeah, that's it, exactly. So if it snows, I won't get condensation issues. If it's cold, if
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
really cold outside, I won't get the warm air creating the condensation and making the room really humid. So it's weird. It's a strange thing, condensation and stuff, but you do have to take everything into consideration. A lot of
Yeah.
people build summer houses, even not for reptiles, and they end up the whole roof rots in. It just goes to the crap goes to like pulp mush because they haven't done something like that. They haven't built this air pocket like you say. Yeah, so basically this air pocket though it vents right from the front underneath, and then it goes up into that air cavity, and then the air will run right out and down out the back as well. So it's always circulating through that roof constantly.
Nice.
Very cool.
Oh yeah.
Very cool.
So yeah,
That's
I'll
a
have to
whole
do
lot
it.
of carpentry I know nothing about.
I'll have
That's
to
ants
one
world
day.
right there. He
Yeah,
knew
one.
he probably knew everything you were talking about.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
like,
it's just amazing when you build something for a purpose. Things
yeah,
Yeah.
seem to work out better. If you take in, a building, a structure that's already there, and you're trying to get it to suit a purpose that it wasn't built for, it's usually a little harder. When you build something with an idea in mind, it's amazing to me. I love it.
Yeah.
It's like when they're building a zoo. They're not just going out and looking for an area, or a building, an old complex that would work as a zoo. They're building these enclosures and exhibits
Yeah.
for a very specific reason, to replicate a region, and everything that goes into building those different things requires different techniques and technologies. If you know what you're doing and you know where to research and how to do it and the technologies and materials and stuff available, it can be easy. You just have to know how to apply yourself and have that objective in
Yeah.
mind at all times. I mean, kind of like building an enclosure to the 10th degree. You know, you're
Yeah, absolutely.
you know, it's
A lot of people run shy, don't they? Like someone think, "Oh, I'm not a builder, I'm not a joiner, so I can't do that." But you've got to think there's a time I went a joiner. You know, there was a time I went a builder.
tell people all the time, just teach yourself how to use a tape measure, right? A
Yeah,
speed square, and maybe a couple power tools, and then everything else will
you're
come
aware.
into
Yeah,
play. Man. Everything else will come into play.
absolutely. Yeah,
You'll
practice,
learn
practice
if you know
small
how to use
and
those
grow
tools.
big. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's. And I always say, it's one person can do it, so can another. As long as you've got the equal advantages, like you've got both working hands, it's and you can probably do it.
Or
If you've
just
got two hooks
desire.
for hands, it might be a bit more difficult. I don't know.
Desire and ambition will teach you everything you need to know. In today's world,
Absolutely.
with as accessible and easy as
Yeah.
information is, I genuinely believe there's nothing that one person can do that anyone else cannot do. If you want to,
Absolutely.
if you apply
Totally agree.
yourself, if you want to, you damn sure can.
Totally agree. Totally agree. I've always lived by that. Like, if they can do it, I can do it, sort of thing. And it's always proved out.
So I stopped bringing my car to a mechanic. I'm not a mechanic by any means. I stopped bringing my
Yeah.
cars to mechanics 15 years ago. I can't tell you how much money I've saved just being like, you know what, if these dudes are doing, you got the same tool set I have, like I gotta be able to get the information where you're getting it from. Why can I not do it? The only reason, the thing that would stop me would be specific tools for a job. And you're a builder, you know what it is. You know, to a
Yeah.
degree, the right tools make the job. You have to have the right things to do it. And if you're willing to spend
Yeah.
the money, do the research on those tools and the job, anybody could do anything. Like you people
Yeah.
are more capable than society has allowed us to believe we are. Like
Yep.
we are capable beings.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Like you say, the only limit you might have or something as a mechanic is like that. They can jack the car up on a
Yes.
big ramp or something, and you don't have that, and that's what you need to do.
Yeah.
They're usually like the little things that where you've got to draw your own line and maybe not try and jack your car up on 20 bricks or something.
I see got my buddies that have BMWs or like, cars that are, higher end out here. They would take them to the shop and, $200 oil change or,
Oh
fifteen
God,
hundred
yeah.
bucks to change 8 spark plugs. Like you could
Yeah,
do it. You don't need nothing
yeah,
really special. Do it yourself. Like
yeah. If there's
it's
things you
crazy.
can do, you should definitely do it. Definitely, 'cause you don't grow, do you? If you shy away from everything,
No.
you
And
do not
exactly
grow.
kind of like you're saying, you leave with another talent. You set off on a venture knowing nothing. You'll leave smarter than you entered this new experience.
Absolutely, yeah. And again, related to geckos, if I had the mindset where let's just stick where I started at, I'd only be producing Levis, and then that'd be it. So for me, it just wouldn't be enough.
It's
Yep.
awesome. Very
It's what led me
inspirational.
down to this path of all these other damn geckos.
That's it.
It's like, all right, started with Yahuwahs. Now I'm like all kinds of shit. Like
Yeah,
like I said, I just got a few different pairs. I just got what was it? Those Pachydactylus the little Madagascar velvet geckos. Not little, them things are pretty big.
yeah, yeah.
You know, the Homophilus,
They're, they're,
Cerdactylus.
they're they're the velvet geckos with the short faces, aren't they?
Mhm.
Yeah, they're
Yeah, yeah,
aggressive little
yeah,
buggers,
yeah.
aren't they?
Yeah, well, not really aggressive. Like,
They're
actually, I
cool
mean,
looking.
they're open baskers. I know that.
Oh,
Like, I
nice.
got one right now that's open basket right now because I moved their little heat bulb to just this branch. So now they have to go there just to go and bask. So the female is usually the one that's always basking. The male tends like to hide in the back, but
Mm.
they're not like they don't like getting sprayed. Like from what I read is that they're on the much warmer side of Madagascar and not like the real cool tolerant species. So I've noticed, like I said, I noticed her. She's always out in that heat trying to get warm, but I also think she might have eggs in her too. So she might be just
Yeah,
cooking those
yeah,
eggs.
that's a bit more with that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool, man. Yeah,
So
like, yeah, there were species that grabbed me quite a bit. Those velvet geckos back in the day. Yeah, a while ago. Yeah, yeah, they're really nice though.
yeah,
It's great to see people working with them because again,
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I I can't work with everything myself. So it's really
Yeah,
cool
yeah.
when I see sometimes I see people working with things where I like, yeah, I like them, but you know, it's nice to see someone doing it. Do you know what I mean? It's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, they're still in those parameters where I can still keep them okay. So, like, I'm like, if I could keep a sick array, a your plated sick array, fine. I was like, okay, I could keep a good amount of stuff. Only where
Yeah,
I draw the line is like with Abronia. Like, I can't do
yeah,
Abronia. Too damn hot here. I'm just not gonna even try. They're too
yeah,
expensive
yeah.
for me to really try. So
It's
I'll
funny.
admire those from afar.
Does it still get quite cold in your winters then in Arizona? No. Ah,
Like
okay. Yeah,
like this winter, it man, like I could barely cool my room down. Like
mm,
I couldn't get it maybe around 65 or so.
yeah.
I'm used to cooling a lot more, like I said, in the mid 50s. But this past year it was real quick too. Like I said, like my cool down was from like it didn't get cool until like December. Like it stopped hitting the 100-degree mark in December.
Wow, that's
So
crazy.
yeah,
That's
and
hot.
so yeah, and then now it's already hitting triple digits again, and it's only April.
But it's
Yeah,
cheap for you
like
to keep
last.
those Aussie geckos
Yeah.
because
Well,
your heat source is water.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like I said, we were talking to Frank. I was thinking about like trying to make a cage for outside for
Mm.
like the Aussie
Oh,
geckos
that
for
would
like
be perfect.
summertime and the fall.
Stropharis would love that. They would love that.
Yeah, it's just a matter of making it critter proof for the outside stuff. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
so
Yeah, you don't
that's
want
something for me to
some
work
cat
on.
or something to grab a gecko.
Yeah, exactly. So got to figure that stuff out, and then
Absolutely.
maybe get that project going soon.
That would be nice.
So we're coming up close to the end, and you want to go ahead hit them with the closer?
Yeah.
yeah. So I ask everyone the same questions because I like to see hear the diversity in opinions. But say a little kid saw this podcast, a 10-year-old boy or girl, and he said, I want to grow up and do just what you're doing. You're living my dream.
Yeah.
What do I have to do to be you as an adult? What advice would you give a child that wanted to grow up and keep reptiles and maybe have a house and build a house that you have and just do everything you're doing? What advice would you give a 10-year-old you?
Don't be shy to reach out for help. It's number one. Yeah, even stuff you find online, you're not gonna get the experience and the knowledge that the people who have already been doing it. There could be stuff written online. It could be ancient. It could be outdated, or it could be just totally wrong. So find someone who's successful in these species in the areas that you're working in, and just really ask them everything you need to ask them. 99% of the time they'll be a decent person and they'll help you out. So yeah, I think the best experience comes from those who are experienced, I suppose.
Sure.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, I
Awesome
always
advice.
tell people, like, well, there's a couple different, like Ant always says, nature is your proxy, and then I always
Mm.
say is get at least three different resources when you're trying to compare and contrast information. Just see where some of those similarities are and where that one that's not as similar, trying to figure that out. Um, you know, um, and then I always ask this question, and it's like, so since being in this hobby, what has been your biggest failures and what have you learned from those?
I suppose it brings me back down to Stellatus. So my dumbest thing was letting too many go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm paying the price. We all are. It's the
Yeah,
latest
yeah,
breeders
yeah.
still paying the price. So yeah, it's going to take a lot of work to dig us back into that luxurious place where you can offer them out to other people. So yeah, just
Yeah.
never, never let too many things go. I suppose.
Yeah, like you said, keep those holdbacks back. That's why they're called holdbacks for a reason.
Definitely, yeah. Females in particular, you can never really have too many, can you? So and
Yeah.
even one of your holdbacks might die. So it's like,
Sell something you might need. It's just
but
it seems so simple to me. People very often forget the fact on why they do this and what we're doing, and they get attracted to the money. You know, it's so much more than money. If this isn't
Oh
your
God, yeah,
main job
yeah,
or your daytime job, money needs to really be something you think about at the end as far
yeah,
as making, and worry about bettering your business and doing what it takes to better the future of your business and whatever your project may be. And that usually comes down to holding on to some of your animals. You know, like,
absolutely,
would you want to spend
100%.
money to buy what you're selling again? Are you going to have to come out of your pocket at some juncture to buy what you're getting ready to get rid of? If
Yeah,
the answer is yes, then you probably shouldn't get rid of it. You know,
exactly. And again, people run with the whole money thing, don't they? And like I see people in this hobby, and sometimes they're not even breeding that much or that unique a thing, or something I consider maybe is not very high value, but they end up with like these really flash cars and stuff. And I'm like, oh, it's but then like I say, I'm pumping that much money into the care of these guys. The outbuilding myself itself, even building it myself, has cost me thousands. I've done everything here: the
Dang.
decking, the outbuilding, the thing. You know, I've used nice wood to do it in because I don't want to look at it one day and think I don't like the look of it. You know, I don't like this and that about it. So I've tried to do everything the right way and just thrown money at the whole hobby. I'm doing more and more things all the time just to try and keep on improving.
it pays in the
Like I said,
long run. It'll
yeah.
benefit you in the long run.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
exactly.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. I'm working on these at the moment. I'll show you these. This is one of my. This is what the adult Stropharis are going to be in the groups. So I made like these termite mounds.
Okay.
Well, that's cool.
Oh yeah.
What did you make that out of? Is that foam?
Yeah, it's spray foam, expanding foam.
That's cool. Perfect too. Termite mounds, right?
So I've got 9 of them. Nine of them
Nice.
I've had to make. So it's a lot of hard work, like you say. That whole rack, that stack, God, the amount of vivs. So there was six, oh, 18 little vivs in that Aussie room, and then there's I think 12 bigger ones, and then I had another 12 stack for the terrestrial geckos as well, and then plus all the drawers. So like it's endless work.
Yeah. So with
Yeah.
those termite mounds, do you make like a little hole in the top or something so for them to like go? Is it for laying, egg laying, or is it just
It's a
for
solid background.
aesthetics?
Yeah, it's just a 3D
Okay.
thing. Yeah.
Okay.
So, something to. I'm
Nice.
gonna put on a nice like picturesque backdrop, and then have them
Okay.
just stuck to it and stuff. But
Oh, nice.
yeah, I'm considering drilling a hole like in the center of some of them, and then filling that with like the same sort of substrate so it blends in, and then they
Yeah.
could use that bit as the nest box. So it's like a hidden
Yeah.
nest box.
Yeah, yeah. I was watching like a YouTube video a while back for Beachy Scaly Beast when he did his, and he kind of created like a little lay box in the back that looked like it was part of the background. So that's what I was thinking when I saw yours. And I was thinking like, oh, is he gonna do that? But
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
that yeah, it's definitely gonna be dope. So where can everybody find you at?
I'm just going about. I'm not really a thing, I suppose. I'm just something
Well,
that's
I mean,
existed
you have
between the
amazing
voice.
animals and you have a lot of experience in education when it comes to these animals, and I'm sure people want to talk to you and be like, hey, can I get
Yeah,
your info on this or your opinion on this?
yeah. I suppose they could reach out to me on Facebook or Insta anytime. I'm thinking about doing my own channel, but I've just had
There you go.
that much work to do, like the physical work, the building
Yeah.
things, the doing things. So once that's chilled down a bit, we'll seriously consider and just put out full tutorials for people. I'll put links for the all of the materials and things for building things and doing things, and
I
just
think
do
that'd be
detail.
great.
And need more channels like that. Definitely need more
Absolutely.
channels like that, dude. Like that right there is such a jewel for the hobby right there. People
Absolutely.
that show you this is how I build these things. This is what I use for it. Look in the description. This is everything you get on Amazon or whatever, and things like that helps people out so much
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
like I said, it relieves that anxiety of what do I have to use, what do I need, things like that. So if you're already putting that out there, it's like, look, click this link right here. This is what I use. Boom, and then just put it in their shopping cart, and now they can start building with
Yeah, absolutely.
confidence as well.
I do have one thing that can help a lot of people and certainly help me. There is what to consider the Gecko Bible, especially for Aussie keepers, and it's the book by Dr. Danny Brown. It
Yeah.
is, yeah, what is it? Australian geckos and other pygopods in captivity. I think that's what the book's called. And it's fantastic. Yeah. I was fortunate enough, I managed to pick up a signed copy of the full Lizard book hardback.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, yeah. Very lucky.
Nice. Yeah. I just got a PDF of it right now. One of these days I'm gonna have to get the hard copy, but yeah, I just pulled what I needed. Like I said, I got the PDF, but I just pulled what I needed of like whatever geckos I was really interested in working with. So I just pulled all that stuff, boom, put it into a binder. Now I have like references to go back on. Like I usually like right before, like in the fall, that's when I start reading it again and start going back. Like, all right, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? Because it's like if you don't continually look at that information, you're going to tend to forget. You're going to get complacent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, just like Frank said, that complacency, might bite you in the ass, later on because you're like, oh, whatever. I've been doing this for so many years. Keep on reading on that stuff.
Something.
Exactly. Do it. It's just a refresher. Refresh your mind, so you can get into that whole mode of whatever you're about to go do.
I will add, if you can, because there might be some copies left. I know it did release a second edition of the gecko one.
Yeah.
The gecko and pyco. I mean, the range that's covered in the book is ridiculous. It goes from terrarium building and setups and stuff, and outdoor keeping as well. So it might interest you in that side of it. And anything from feeding, again, gut loading, breeding, illnesses, parasites, anatomy. It's ridiculous. Like there's stuff in there that you wouldn't have imagined would have been included in a book that's just about keeping them in captivity. It's almost like a veterinary handbook at the same time. It's crazy, but it's like I said, they call it the Bible.
The Aussie Gecko Bible. Yep, definitely.
Yeah, it's a big reference. It's fantastic, but I'm yet to come that book's like rival or whatever, like something that can match it. So it's still well in date. Do you know what I mean? Like the information's still well up to date.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, everybody, so we are out. Is next week Easter? I don't even know. I think
the end of the week, is it?
Okay, so we don't have a I don't. So we won't have a podcast next Sunday, you guys. Like I said, Easter. So spend time with your family, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Everybody have a great morning, afternoon, evening. Whenever you're listening to this, please like and subscribe, and we'll check y'all out next time.
Okay.
Later, guys.
Peace.
That's right. Peace. All the best. Bye.
Cool. All right.
Yo, creeping in the dark, life nocturnal, dark and dark, both paths arboreal to terrestrial. Sticky toes gripping forest students that explore. Listen close, Gecko podcast, that's knowledge galore. Reptile talk, host Anthony and Jason. Trade secrets flow, no time wasted. From tropics to town, it's sight raining. With every chat, reptile game changing. Escaping heat waves, tan under rays, desert sand echoes, sun blazing days. Little hustlers, camouflage and maze, catch them speaking wisdom, the wild on replay. Reptile talk, host Anthony and Jason. Trade secrets flow, no time wasted. From tropics to town, it's sight raining. With every chat, reptile game changing. Sculling through the leaves, shadows unseen. Master of the skies, chameleon dream. Lizard tails flip, script getting clean. Gecko exchange, true reptile fiends. Reptile talk, host Anthony and Jason. Trade secrets flow, no time wasted. From tropics to town, it's sight raining. With every chat, reptile game changing. Scuttling through the leaves, shadows unseen. Master of disguise, chameleon dream. Lizard tails flip.